human mind is extraordinary. It can imagine, create, and solve great problems, yet it can also become restless, anxious, and clouded. Every day we are bombarded with noise, information, and distractions that weaken our focus and drain our energy. The wisdom of Stoicism reminds us that clarity and strength are not found in running from life, but in returning to what is essential. To reset your brain and strengthen concentration, you must learn to practice simple disciplines. These lessons come from ancient philosophy, but remain timeless in their power. By applying them, you give your mind the rest and direction it craves. This is the path to living with focus, peace, and a deeper sense of purpose. Breathing is one of the simplest acts of life, yet it is also one of the most powerful tools for mastering the mind. The Stoics often wrote about returning to what is within our control, and your breath is always within your control. Mindful breathing pulls you away from chaos and brings you back to presence. When you breathe deeply and with awareness, you calm the nervous system and clear away the fog of anxiety. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself in his journal to look within, because the source of calm is always there. In the same way, when you focus on your breath, you train your mind to stop wandering and to rest on the present. Concentration strengthens because your thoughts are no longer scattered. Each inhale fills you with energy. Each exhale releases tension. This practice also reminds you of impermanence. Just as the breath comes and goes, so do worries and distractions. They rise, they fall, and they pass. When you catch yourself overwhelmed, take a moment to slow down, close your eyes, and breathe mindfully. It requires no equipment, no preparation, only awareness. The more often you do it, the more your brain learns to reset naturally. This discipline makes you less reactive, more focused, and more at peace. It is not complicated, but it is deeply transformative. The modern world is noisy. Screens demand your attention. Notifications buzz constantly. Messages, emails, and updates never seem to stop. The Stoics lived in simpler times, but they too warned about the dangers of excess. Seneca spoke about how time is wasted when we give it to things that do not matter. In our age, endless scrolling and constant digital input have become the greatest thieves of focus. To reset your brain, you need silence from the digital storm. A daily digital detox is a form of discipline, not rejection. It means choosing moments where you put the phone down, close the laptop, and let your mind breathe. The brain, like the body, becomes exhausted when it never rests. Without breaks from screens, your attention weakens and your ability to think deeply fades. When you disconnect even for an hour, you create space for reflection, reading, or quiet observation. Suddenly you hear your own thoughts again. Creativity rises, concentration sharpens. You realize that not every message requires your instant response. Life continues without constant digital noise. In these moments, you live more intentionally. You talk to those around you. You think without interruption. You remember that you are not a machine but a human being. By practicing this daily, you restore balance. Technology is a useful servant but a dangerous master. A Stoic approach is to use tools with wisdom, not to let them control you. By creating moments of digital silence, you regain ownership of your time and your mind. That is how true focus is rebuilt. Your outer space is a mirror of your inner space. A cluttered desk, an overfilled closet, or a messy room silently creates stress. The Stoics valued simplicity. They believed that freedom came not from possessing more but from needing less. Seneca reminded us that true wealth is not found in abundance but in the ability to live without constant desire. When you declutter your environment, you also declutter your thoughts. Every unnecessary item around you pulls at your attention. Without noticing, you waste energy simply processing the chaos around you. By removing what you do not need, you create an environment of calm. A clean desk allows the mind to focus on the task at hand. A tidy room signals to your brain that order exists here. You do not have to make your environment perfect overnight. Even small acts, clearing a drawer, organizing a shelf, or throwing away what no longer serves you, begin the process. With each step, you feel lighter. Focus strengthens because distractions fall away. You gain clarity because you are no longer surrounded by excess. This is more than physical order. It is spiritual discipline. By choosing simplicity, you honor your mind. You say to yourself, I value clarity more than clutter. Over time, this practice changes how you live. You stop craving what is unnecessary. You begin to see that peace comes not from more possessions but from less chaos. In this way, decluttering is not just cleaning, it is philosophy in action. Rest is a discipline that many ignore. In pursuit of achievement, people sacrifice sleep. But the Stoics taught balance. Marcus Aurelius rose early with purpose, yet he also respected the natural rhythm of rest. The brain cannot function at its highest level without deep restorative sleep. Lack of rest weakens memory, clouds judgment, and destroys focus. To reset your brain, you must first give it the chance to recover. Sleep is when the mind repairs, organizes, and restores itself. Every night is a natural reset button. Yet too often, people sabotage it with late-night screens, irregular schedules, or constant stimulation. To sleep well, you must prepare the mind and body. Create a simple routine. Dim the lights, put away the phone, breathe slowly, and allow yourself to let go. This is not indulgence, it is discipline. Seneca wrote that life is long if you know how to use it, but without proper rest, even a long life feels dull and unfocused. When you sleep deeply, you wake with clarity. Your brain feels sharp, your energy strong, your emotions balanced. This is the foundation of focus. Without it, no technique or strategy will work. Protect your rest as you would protect wisdom itself. Sleep is not wasted time, it is the fuel of concentration, the medicine of clarity, and the quiet teacher of balance. The world tells you to multitask. Do more. Move faster. Juggle everything at once. But the Stoics knew the danger of divided attention. Seneca warned that to be everywhere is to be nowhere. True focus comes from presence, not from scattering energy. To reset your brain, you must practice the art of single tasking. Do one thing fully. Give it your entire attention. When you eat, taste each bite. When you listen, truly listen. When you work, focus only on that work. It may feel slower, but it is stronger. Concentration deepens when it is undivided. The brain works best when it moves from start to finish, not when it jumps constantly. Multitasking creates stress, confusion, and mistakes. Single tasking creates clarity, calmness, and mastery. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself not to be distracted by what others were doing, but to focus only on what lay before him. This is wisdom for us as well. Each task you complete with focus strengthens the muscle of concentration. Over time, you discover that you get more done, not less, because your efforts are deeper and cleaner. This practice also brings satisfaction. At the end of the day, you know you gave your best to each action. Your brain feels less scattered because you lived each moment with attention. In a distracted world, single tasking is a radical act of freedom. It is how you reclaim your focus and reset your mind. The Stoics lived close to nature. They studied the stars, walked in gardens, and reflected on the order of the natural world. They saw themselves as part of it, not above it. Epictetus reminded his students to accept life as it comes, just as nature accepts each season. In the same way, your brain needs nature to heal and reset. Time in natural surroundings restores mental energy. A walk among trees, the sound of water, or simply sitting under the sky has profound effects. The noise of the city fades, and the mind finds peace. Nature reduces stress, lowers anxiety, and strengthens attention. It reminds you of the larger order of life, helping you see your problems in perspective. You realize that just as seasons change, so do difficulties. The mind resets because it is no longer trapped in the artificial noise of daily life. Even a few minutes outdoors can refresh you. The Stoics believed that wisdom comes from aligning with nature, not resisting it. By spending time outside, you reconnect with what is real. You breathe more deeply, think more clearly, and feel more balanced. Modern science confirms what ancient wisdom already knew. Nature sharpens memory, improves focus, and calms emotions. Make it a daily habit to step outside, even briefly. Look at the sky, listen to the wind, notice the life around you. In these simple acts, your brain resets, your spirit calms, and your concentration returns with new strength. The Stoics valued discipline, but they also understood the need for balance. Life is not constant effort without pause. Marcus Aurelius wrote about returning to himself when pulled in many directions. In the same way, your brain needs breaks during the day to reset. When you work without pause, focus weakens and mistakes multiply. But when you pause strategically, you restore your energy. Short breaks act like sharpening a blade. They prepare you to continue with clarity. This does not mean long hours of distraction. It means stepping away for a few minutes to breathe, stretch, walk, or simply close your eyes. These pauses signal to the brain that it can reset. Concentration returns stronger afterward. The key is moderation. Too little rest burns you out. Too much leads to laziness. The Stoics always sought balance, and you must do the same. By integrating short breaks, you prevent exhaustion before it begins. You respect your limits while still pursuing excellence. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. The strongest people are those who know when to step back in order to return stronger. By practicing strategic breaks, you protect your mind from fatigue, maintain focus, and achieve more with less struggle. It is a simple practice with profound results. Food is fuel, and the Stoics reminded us to treat it with moderation and wisdom. Epictetus advised eating simply, without indulgence, to maintain strength rather than satisfy gluttony. The brain depends on what you feed it. Poor nutrition, Cloud's thought, lowers energy and weakens focus. Proper nutrition sharpens memory, stabilizes mood, and fuels concentration. To reset your brain, you must choose food that strengthens rather than weakens. Eat clean, balanced meals rich in nutrients. Choose fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats that support brain function. Drink water often, for hydration is essential to mental clarity. Avoid heavy excess processed foods and constant sugar, for they dull the mind. Simplicity in diet creates clarity in thought. The Stoics valued moderation, and the same applies to what you consume. This is not about strict rules, but about wise choices. Every meal is an opportunity to strengthen your brain. You do not need extravagance, you need balance. When you fuel your body well, your mind thanks you. You feel lighter, more alert, more focused. Nutrition becomes more than eating, it becomes discipline in action. By treating food as a tool for clarity rather than indulgence, you honor your mind and reset it for focus and strength. Reflection was at the heart of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius filled his journal with reminders, lessons, and reflections to guide himself daily. He did not write for others but for his own growth. Journaling is one of the most powerful ways to clear mental clutter. When your mind feels heavy with endless thoughts, worries, and ideas, writing frees it. By placing words on paper, you empty your mind and create space for clarity. Journaling slows thought and brings order to confusion. You can see patterns, reflect on actions, and learn from experience. It is not about perfect sentences, it is about honesty. Write your fears, your gratitude, your lessons, and your intentions. Each word clears weight from the mind. The Stoics believed that unexamined life is wasted life. Journaling is your way of examining, learning, and improving. Even a few minutes a day makes a difference. Over time, you build wisdom from your own reflections. Concentration strengthens because mental noise decreases. Journaling is like sweeping dust from the mind. It leaves you with space, focus, and calm. In this way, it is more than writing. It is philosophy in daily action. It is how you reset your brain and shape your life with intention. Each morning you wake with a choice. You can drift through the day reacting to whatever comes, or you can live with direction. The Stoics began their mornings by preparing their minds for what lay ahead. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he would meet people who were difficult, but he also reminded himself that he could choose his response. Setting clear daily intentions resets your brain each morning. Without intentions, the day scatters your focus. With intentions, you act with clarity and strength. Choose a few priorities. Decide what matters most. Write them down or speak them to yourself. Let them guide your actions. Intentions do not remove challenges, but they give you a compass. They remind you of what is important when distractions arise. Concentration grows because your mind is no longer pulled in every direction. Each action connects to purpose. This practice turns ordinary days into meaningful ones. You end each evening with peace, knowing you lived by choice, not by accident. The Stoics knew that life is shaped by habits of thought and action. By setting intentions, you shape your day with wisdom.